So, why are housing prices so high? Housing prices in the EU have surged by 65% from 2010 to 2022, while median incomes have only increased 20%. The situation in the USA is even worse. So, how are people supposed to afford housing when their incomes can't keep up? Why does it seem like finding a stable place to live is getting harder and harder? And why are so many people forced into massive debt just to secure a home? Today we'll explore the reasons behind the rising cost of housing and why it should be a guaranteed right for all, not a way to make money. In our society, housing is treated like any other commodity, bought and sold on the market with prices determined by supply and demand. But housing is not just like any other product, it's a fundamental human need like food or water. When housing is commodified, the focus shifts from providing shelter to making a profit. This shift leads to speculation, driving up prices and making it harder for people to afford a place to live. The increasing housing prices are not a natural outcome of market forces, but rather it is a strategic choice to drive desperate buyers and renters to offer more money than they have. Limiting the supply of available homes through price increases and eradicating affordable housing, it not only ensures a high return on investment, but it creates low supply and high demand, driving prices up even further. Now picture a city with thousands of vacant homes while thousands of people struggle to find affordable housing. Unfortunately, this is not a theoretical scenario. It is the reality in many urban areas and city centers where investors prioritize their profits above all else. This problem can, for example, be commonly observed in areas that prioritize tourism and selling second homes to foreign buyers, leaving those in need of housing overlooked. These investors are not focused on providing homes to people. Instead, they prioritize maximizing their profits. This manipulation extends to new housing developments as well. Real estate developers may focus on building luxury apartments and high-end homes because these properties yield the highest profits. Meanwhile, the demand for affordable housing goes unmet and prices for existing homes continue to rise. This prioritization of profit over people leads to a housing market that caters to the wealthy while leaving ordinary people struggling to find a place to live. Of course, those with financial means can secure multiple properties, turning housing into a lucrative investment rather than a basic human need. Speaking of multiple properties, let's talk about landlords. Landlords own more houses than they need, and instead of selling them to those who need a house, they choose to rent them out for a profit. Renters pay significant amounts over time, but they never gain ownership of their homes. Even after paying rent for many years, they might have paid enough to buy the house several times over, but the landlord still retains ownership. This situation allows landlords to accumulate wealth while trapping renters in a cycle of payments without ownership. We also can't forget to talk about debt when it comes to housing, as people fear that if they don't act quickly, someone with more money will outbid them. They are willing to take on significant debt to secure a home. Of course, real estate agencies and banks often have special deals ensuring both can maximize their profits. This relationship forces individuals into debt, trapping them in a cycle of repayments that benefit the banks and real estate agencies. People end up paying far more than the value of their homes over time, all while struggling to keep up with rising costs and stagnant incomes. So, what can we do about the housing crisis? There are two main paths we can take: short-term fixes and long-term solutions. While systemic change may take time, we can start by implementing measures that provide immediate relief. One approach is to enforce price caps on housing. For instance, if a house is valued at a certain price, there can't be a profit margin exceeding 5% of that value. This kind of regulation can help stabilize the market and make housing more affordable in the short term. However, these measures alone won't solve the root problem, which is the commodification of housing. For a more lasting solution, we need to think bigger. We could invest in free public housing to eliminate homelessness, or create state-subsidized leasing programs that allow people to rent until they own their homes. Another idea is to limit the number of properties an individual can own, ensuring housing remains a personal necessity rather than a wealth-generating asset. Imagine a system where everyone can own up to 2 homes, but anything beyond that is considered excessive and greedy. Of course, these are merely suggestions based on already successful systems. There are definitely more concepts out there. Regardless, the crux of the issue is that as long as housing is seen as a commodity to be bought and sold for profit, the problem will persist. We need to shift our focus to providing homes for as many people as possible. By creating free public housing and making affordable housing the norm, we can ensure everyone has a place to call home. Housing should be a basic human right, not a means of generating profit. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support us, and also stay updated on future episodes, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Additionally, you can support us on Patreon or visit our website to learn about alternative non-monetary ways to support our work. Join our public Discord server to become part of our community and submit questions for our Q&A on the monthly Politdigm podcast. Also, don't forget to drop a comment with questions you would like us to cover. Anyways, good studies, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.